Hey guys, welcome back to the Divinely Human podcast. I am so happy to have you here. Today, I wanted to talk about how to tell if spirit is trying to communicate with you, or how to know if there is like a spirit in your physical presence. This could pertain to really anybody on your spirit team. Your spirit team includes angels, your guardian angel, spirit guides, could be ancestors you've never met before, or people you've actually known in your life that have passed away. So any of those beings could be trying to communicate with you at different points in your life. So I want to give you some tips on how to tell if that is what's happening. And then hopefully later in my journey, I'll be able to tell you how to actually get super clear messages from them. So stay tuned for that. I will only be speaking on the ways that I have had personal experiences with, because I feel like I can give you examples and actually speak to those and what they feel like. There are absolutely different ways to receive messages, intuition, guidance, but if I have not experienced it, I don't feel like I should be telling you about it. If you do have questions though, I'd be happy to answer for you. So most of these like sixth senses really revolve around your natural senses that you already have. There's seeing, there's hearing, there's feeling, there's smelling, there's tasting. And once we get a little bit more psychic, there's just knowing also, or like seeing the future, which is precognition. So these are all labeled as different clairs. There is the one that you've probably heard like throughout your life, like from movies and Hollywood and stuff like that. Clairvoyance, which means that's like your psychic sense of seeing. And clairvoyance can be with your actual physical eyes, but it's mostly referring to your sight with your third eye, which is your chakra center that's like right here between your eyebrows. I have no experiences with this. I have one experience with my physical eyes. I actually shared that story in my angel video, my personal experiences with angels. I'll link that down below. But other than that, which was like totally a fluke, I think, I cannot visualize when I meditate. I cannot see anything, nothing with my eyes closed, like pretty close to nothing. So I'm not going to speak on clairvoyance at all. I think the sense that most of us have experienced, and maybe we are unaware of it, is feeling or clairsentience. So this is almost like your spidey sense. If you've ever walked into a room and it felt like super heavy and yucky, or you could like tell that the people in there had just like had an argument, or they're not in a good vibe, and you can like feel that with your body, that is clairsentience. It's really cool because it involves like our auric field and or biofield, whatever you want to call it. So our energy body is a lot bigger than our physical body, and it's like perceiving everything around it. So if you go into a dense, sticky, low vibe room, you can feel it. But that also means that if something high vibrational is around you, you can feel that as well. So that's sort of what it would be like if there was a spirit or an angel or something trying to communicate with you. Granted, all of those things are a different level of vibration. There is such thing as an earthbound spirit. An earthbound spirit is like a low vibrational energy of someone who passed and chose not to go to the light, literally, like transition to the other side. Somebody had like a traumatic life, traumatic death, or some sort of like unresolved, not debt, I don't want to say debt. Something was unresolved in their life that held them here, that made them make the decision to not go to heaven. That is a lower vibration entity. Now, if it's, say, a family member that's passed away, they transitioned to the other side, they've gone through their healing and all of that stuff that they had to do, and now they're trying to deliver you messages, or maybe just trying to tell you, hey, I still exist, I'm okay, I'm with you, I love you. That is a vibration higher. Not a single vibration higher, but like a step up. And then there are another step up, your spirit guides who are around you all the time. And then there's really the highest step up under source, God, universe itself, which is angels. So this is what that would feel like. Let me try to explain. It's literally like a spidey sense. If your eyes are closed, have you ever felt that there's someone near you and like you couldn't see or hear them? It could feel like that. It could feel like tingles, goosebumps, like pricklies all over your body, or like a chill. It could feel like that. It's literally just like feeling a presence, like you feel a presence near you. Usually I do get cold, like I get the goosebumpy feeling. I know that some people experience sleep paralysis. That's like a scarier version of this. To my knowledge, sleep paralysis is occurring because it's a low vibrational being that's near you. That's sort of when you like wake up in the middle of the night and you like can't move, and there is a fear associated with it, and you feel like something is near you or watching you or at the foot of your bed or whatever, and like you can't move. That's super scary. But that is sort of like a version of clairsentience. You are just sensing something a lot lower in vibration. I find when it's more of a loving being or like more angelic guidance, it's very like goosebumpy and happy, and it's more just, it feels like, oh, something's around me and it's fine. Like there's no fear associated with it. It's a good way to explain it. Like the past couple of weeks is the first time to my knowledge that I've experienced like the presence of people that passed in my family, and they were actually waking me up nightly, and it was, I guess, similar to sleep paralysis, but I could move to my own accord. I wasn't scared, but it literally just felt like someone was right over me, and I could feel them so tangibly. How I'm understanding that in my mind is that it was like a lower vibration than, say, like an angel or a spirit guide. So the lower the vibration, kind of like the denser you are. That's why we are like humans, we're like physical, you can hold us. But a spirit who's higher vibration, their vibes are like vibrating so quickly that they aren't like physical matter. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I swear that's what the truth is. You know what? I am going to throw in a little bit of clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is a seeing, because one version of clairvoyance is your dream state. So sometimes your dreams are you just like processing information, or maybe processing things that happen throughout your day. But if somebody visits you in your dream and it's like clear and feels real, or like if someone passed away and they are like there in your dream, that is them visiting you. I know it's like really common to like have the dream and wake up and you're like, whoa, that was so cool. And like an hour later, you cannot remember anything. So if you want to remember your dreams more, which I've been working on, keep a notebook right by your bed, or even you can use the notes app on your phone, and right when you wake up, write down every single thing you can remember from the dream. And I swear, like as the days or the weeks progress, the details you remember will be so much longer. Like all of my paragraphs keep slowly growing of all of the things that I can remember from my dreams. I do only remember clearly my family members coming to me in a dream, maybe like once or twice, but it was the same ones that were actually like visiting me at night. This happened at separate times. So that's all that I can confidently say about clairvoyance, because I really do not have that gift of sight open yet. Hopefully that will happen for me, but that's not what it is right now. So the next sense that I want to talk about is hearing, or clairaudience. And clairaudience is actually how my spiritual awakening was sparked. There's a lot of different versions of this. So this could involve just like music, or you thinking about someone and then say like a song that reminds you of them like starts playing randomly, like not you going through your phone and clicking the song, but it unexpectedly playing for you. This could be sounds that you hear on a regular basis not sounding the same anymore. So that's kind of what happened to me. And like anytime I would listen to music, podcasts, anything, it didn't matter, the words would slow down, the pitch would be wrong. And like I like to sing, so I know when a pitch is wrong. I'm like, what just happened in the song? So that would keep happening, and the words would slow down and warp, almost like you were like pushing on a record that was spinning like over and over. It was super weird, but that's kind of how this all sparked from me because my brain went from like, okay, my Bluetooth is messed up, but then nobody else around me could hear it when it would happen. And then I instantly went to, oh, ghosts. It's probably ghosts. I don't know how I got there because I didn't believe in ghosts before, but that's a type of clairaudience that you could experience. Another one that I experience quite frequently now is ear ringing, like ringing in your ear. And not, for me, it's not ever both ears at the same time. I think it's almost always my left ear, and it's very high pitched and it's very noticeable. Like whenever it happens, I actually look to my left because it so like takes me off guard. And one of these dang days I will be able to decipher what they're trying to tell me. If it's, I don't know if it's just a yes, what you're doing is right, like a ding, or if you listen to any psychics talk about how they use their gifts, this is how they'll explain it. Say your ears are like a radio, okay? And every spirit, entity, angel, whatever, is speaking to you on a different radio station, and your job is to learn how to tune the dial to the stations. So that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do. Still don't know how to do it, but ear ringing is super common. It can be, or even just like a pressure in your ear, and for me it's sometimes painful. It almost feels like my eardrum's gonna explode. My friend who communicates with angels, she told me that I could ask them to actually turn it down, like to something that I could handle, or change it into something that I can understand. And that has worked for the intensity of the sound. Another cool one that involved songs that happened to me recently was my dad and my aunt had been trying to reach out to me. Those are the family members that were like visiting me in my sleep. They were also visiting a psychic that I was seeing weekly because I'm like taking an intuition class and she's the teacher. And so she was telling her coworker like about my family members visiting, and they had actually validated who they were by talking about things that they had liked. One of those things being the Chicago Cubs, and this is like a picture of Wrigley Field that I recently got, actually from my friend. Thank you, Maggie, if you see this. They had told her like something about like white and blue striped shirts, and then, which is like a Cubs uniform, and then something that I had hung on my wall recently. And so I had assumed it was this Wrigley Field poster and the Chicago Cubs because my family's from Chicago. And so she's telling her coworker about this, and as she's talking about it, a song starts playing on her phone. So this is like ties into clairaudience. The song was Don't You Worry Child by Swedish House Mafia. And just like the first paragraph, it was so insane when she was telling me this. It's like, I used to look into my father's eyes, memories hanging on the wall, from the place I used to call home. Like so specific and crazy. It makes you wonder, like, what can spirit not do? Because absolutely my dad did not listen to that song ever when he was alive. So imagine your spirit and you just have the entire database of all music ever to choose from to send messages, because it was so specific, it was so perfect. And to be able to choose that and have it happen in like an instant is mind-blowing to me. So another way that you can sense spirit, which has also been happening to me recently, is it's called clairsalience, which is your sense of smell. So this would be like if you are just going about your day and say you get a whiff of like exactly what like your grandma's house used to smell like, or I can't remember who told me this, but like I was talking to somebody and they were like in an Airbnb and they just had like an entire room smelled like maple syrup, and they associated like their family member with maple syrup. And she literally searched the entire room to find where the maple syrup was coming from, and then realized it literally wasn't coming from anywhere. So that would be a form of clairsalience. This just started happening to me this past month. So that 1 or 2 week period where my family was trying to contact me, I kept smelling cigarette smoke everywhere. No one in my house smokes. Really nobody I know smokes, like at all. And it would just be in my house, in my room, in the car. It didn't matter. Like I would smell it all the time. And then my intuition teacher, who ended up actually giving me, like delivering messages to me from my dad and my aunt, she was also smelling it because they were also like coming for her to get to me. And both of them smoked for decades and decades and decades of their life. So that was like their, hey, it's me. Like, this is who it is. That was their way to validate that. Another one that's happened now 3 times is the smell of roses so intensely. It happened the first time I was in my bathroom in my house doing my makeup or my hair or something. And the smell was so strong. It was like somebody had crunched up roses with like a mortar and like shoved it up my nose. It was so intense that I was looking around like, where the hell is that coming from? Because it was so strong, like stronger than any bouquet I've ever smelled. And then it happened again the other day in church, and I'm just like looking around. I'm like, if it was someone next to me, I would be smelling it like this whole time, you know? And it was just like in an instant, just roses, like they were inside of my head or something. So I don't know who that is yet. If you have any ideas, send them my way because I'm not positive. But yeah, smell is absolutely a way that spirit can like let you know that they're with you. Another one that I've only experienced with crystals, because crystals are souls too. Taste is also one. Like if you, I don't know what the clear word for the taste is, but say like you had like a favorite meal that somebody used to cook for you or something, and then you just get a flash of that taste in your mouth. It's actually really rare, but it is a thing. So if it's happened to you, then don't think that you're crazy and kind of like treasure that experience, you know? And I've said this before, but I think with any sort of spiritual experience, it's really important not to talk yourself out of it. And you will have those stages of, I'm Looney Tunes, what's going on? But the more that it happens, the less you can deny it. And just think if you are that spirit trying to deliver messages, like I don't know, obviously, but I don't think it's necessarily easy for them to do, or they would just be doing it all the time, you know? So the way I think of it is if they're going to expend like a ton of energy to try and send a message to me, like that's really special, and you don't want to disregard it, because how disappointing if you were that spirit, you know what I mean? Those are really the main ones. So feeling spirit around you, seeing or like getting visions, hearing, smelling, tasting. So those are some ways that you can tell if spirit is trying to contact you. I do want to say this. If you have a family member or a loved one who has passed recently, please don't be disheartened if you feel you haven't received any messages. My dad, it's almost been 3 whole years since he passed away. And from what I understand from reading like different soul journey books and like hypnotherapist books, is that we actually have quite a bit to do right when we pass. And depending on your life or what you want to do after your life, after you transition, it could be a while until you're like ready to be coming back to the earth plane and like shaking things up. So there's healing that has to be done once you leave your body. You supposedly like go straight into a healing chamber that literally heals your soul, which sounds really cool. And then you have to go through your life review. And I know that's in movies described as your life flashing before your eyes, which sounds like it's only a second in time, but it's a little bit more involved than that. You absolutely watch your entire life, and then you watch it from every single perspective of everybody in your life. You feel all of the things that you made other people feel. You see how your decisions affected other people's lives. It's a lot. Like if that was happening on Earth, like in human schools, that would be an entire college curriculum. You know what I mean? So they have a lot to get done before they are free to come here and put maple syrup in your nose, you know? So just keep that in mind. Don't be disheartened if you haven't heard anything. And you can also ask or be open to messaging. You can literally just say it out loud. I do want to make sure that you make it clear who you're willing to receive messages from. A safe way to do this is to end all of your spirit talking statements with whatever is in my highest good and the highest good of all. Or make sure that you are clarifying that you are only allowing high vibrational beings and no low vibrational beings allowed. Like, make that clear. Your law is what has to be obeyed. Just make sure you make it a law. Okay? You don't want like any type of visitors coming to your hotel. You know what I mean? I think that's all I have to say about that. I would love to hear from you. If you have any comments, you can find me on Instagram. My handle should be here somewhere. I hope this is helpful. I would love to hear if you have any experiences, like if you've experienced any of these things, if your family members have visited you, have you ever seen an angel or heard one or anything like that? I would love to hear it. But until then, I will see you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.